I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
We are going to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross borders criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
A lot of the signs at the rally you just held were people standing there saying, abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Is that a position that you agree with?
We need to probably think about starting from scratch.
So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being public health, period.
Are you for defunding the police?
How are you defining defund the police? It's actually wrong and backward to think that more police officers will create more safety. We need to get rid of money bail.
Convicted, in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation. I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal. I have always supported Medicare for all. I was very happy to sign on to Bernie's bill, and I give Bernie, frankly, a lot of credit. There's no question I'm in.
Just another great attack ad, folks. And this is an attack ad in the truthful sense. This is in her own words. It's exactly what needs to be done. These need to be put out by in every battleground state, folks, in every TV market that's out there, and that's exactly what they're doing. This ad was produced, I think, by the Jim Heath channel show, so props out to, to them. What I'd like to do right now is go back and rewatch this with me here, and let me give you some of my reactions to it, and just how anybody in their right minds could take a look at the stuff that's coming out from Kamala Harris in terms of what she wants as things to be done, her policies, and then actually still vote for this stuff, which is actually going to harm people within this country. It's just unbelievable. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You're watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasser. Let's get to that video and stay with me, folks. Put your comments down below. Love to know what you think. Let's go to the video once again.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
And what are they trying to do now? They're trying to change the entire framework of that narrative to make her look as if she's moderate. And she's changed a lot of her positions from what's in this ad just because that's a chameleon, of which Kamala is. In fact, they ought to sing a song, Karma, 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 Chameleon, right? Comma, 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 Kamala Harris, chameleon. I mean, that's exactly, her nose keeps grows. Oh, your nose keeps grows. Absolutely.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
We are going to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
And that's been the classic answer. That's the one that we always say. And I haven't been to Europe either. You haven't been to, we've been to the border. We're going to go to the border. And I don't understand what you mean by that questioning. Meaning what? You haven't visited the damn border. And you actually think that you're doing something to stop the mass influx of illegals coming to this country. But I haven't been to Europe either, as if we're talking about you going on a freaking vacation.
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross borders criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
A lot of the signs at the rally you just held were people standing there saying, abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Is that a position that you agree with?
We need to probably think about starting from scratch.
We need to think about starting from scratch. Just abolish ICE. Abolish all of these departments out there that are trying to protect and serve and keep, illegal aliens, keep out drug traffickers, keep out child rapists, keep out pedophiles, keep out terrorists. But no, Kamala thinks that, you know what? We got to start from scratch. Think about starting from scratch.
So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being public
Any
health,
human being.
period.
Period.
Are you for defunding the police?
How are you defining defund the police?
How are we defining it? Not letting them have the money. That's how we're defining it. How would you define defunding the police? It's like when you ask a question like, what is a woman? How do you define? What do you mean? Give me a definition. No, I'm asking you to give me your definition.
Actually wrong and backward to think that more police officers will create more safety.
Oh, that's just backwards, folks. That's just backwards, isn't it? Did you hear that? That's just backwards. More police officers will actually increase crime. It doesn't help to have more. We need to have less. Everybody has it back asswards. Then really? You want to go back and listen to this again? Let's go back and listen to this again, folks. It's just can't be, it's really just, let's just hear this again.
To think that more police officers will create more safety. We need to get rid of money bail.
Convicted, in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation.
I think we ought to have that conversation. Convicted murderers, rapists, people that have done the absolute, acts of depravity, acts of violence against the American public. But you know what? They need to be able to vote. And we need to have that conversation. No, we don't. The conversation ought to be, you go to jail, you committed a crime, you don't get to vote until you do your time. And even then, that maybe we should consider to think about too. That if you are a convicted felon and you've done your time, you know what you had a conversation about? Maybe you shouldn't have the right to vote even then. How's that for a topic for a conversation, Cam?
I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal. I have always supported Medicare for all. I was very happy to sign on to Bernie's bill, and I give Bernie, frankly, a lot of credit.
I mean, folks, there is such a stark difference from every Democratic nominee for president versus Donald Trump. The views are just like north and absolute polar opposites. You couldn't have two parties, two types of platforms, two people that are absolutely so different. And these type of ads need to be run, more of those, and we're going to bring them to you as we find them, because this is how you're going to define somebody. It's one thing to be saying it yourself, but to hear it come out of the person's mouth is absolutely, that's what needs to be done. And I'm telling you, when Donald Trump goes down there and does his talks, they ought to put together a compilation of these. And he just ought to have his little clicker and then talk a little bit and say, let's hear, what we want to do on immigration. Let's hear what Kamala Harris and Tim Awals, has to say. Click. Let's hear what they have to say on the open borders. Click. Let's say what they have to say on price gouging. Click. What they have to say on illegal immigration. Click. That's what needs to be done, folks. That's what needs to be done. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Take a look at our other video links above and below. Put your comments down. What do you think? Is this the way that it should go? I believe it is. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.